Peace. What is good, everybody? What is going on? It is the Joey Digital. Just want to say what is up, see what is good with the collective, and send you all waves and waves and waves of positive energy, positive frequency, and positive vibrations in this moment. All right, super happy to have you here. We have a very powerful message that I am super excited to get with you all about in this moment. I just want to encourage you before I get going to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you may be updated when I post and create all new content. All right, cool. Yes, so I am here and I am coming up with so many different downloads that I've been getting these past couple of days, and one of the main ones that I want to ask you all about is, have you ever wanted to know how to strengthen your spiritual body? Okay, your spiritual body, not your physical body, but like your spirit, your aura, your energy, the energy that is within you. All right, if this is a video for you, something that you would like to tap into, tune in with, then definitely, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so as of yet, and let's jump right in. All right, one thing that has been coming to me, especially all day today, is just strengthening your spiritual body. And when I say spiritual body, I mean your essence, the energy that is flowing through you. Okay, the energy that is able to tap into the angelic realms, the energy that is flowing through you, that is the cosmic bridge. All right, and one way that you can do that is, when you sit and think about yourself, all right, when you sit and think about yourself, when you sit and think about what you are and who you are, you will know first and foremost the amount of work that you're putting in. All right, you'll know based on where you are, how you perceive things, not just your perspective, but just how you observe things, your observations, when it comes to things dealing with yourself. Okay, and you will know based on your observation if you've ascended from where you may have been last week, last month, or maybe even last year. All right, hit that like button. And we a lot of times, whether you consciously do it or you subconsciously do it, we tend to sit with ourselves from time to time and we do the analysis of seeing where we are spiritually, and it's not about the things you acquire. It's not about the blessings or anything like that. It's about the energy. All right, and one way that you could definitely strengthen your energy within your spiritual body is, there's actually 3 ways. The first way is to think in terms of, as we've heard of as within, so without. but I'm gonna flip it, you know, as without, so within. Okay, so if you look at your life and you look at how things are showing up in the physical, it will kind of show you, it will show you how things will look on the inside. Okay, and to a degree, because of the fact that everything on a physical plane, it stays the same. Like, things don't switch shapes. They don't shape. I don't want to say the word shape shift, but they don't, you know, let's just say like this. Building will be a building. You know, a car will be a car. A phone will be a phone. All right. But it's all about your perspective and how you perceive the physical things, and in return, that'll show you how you view things spiritually. All right, so to some, a car may just be a car, but to you, it may be your livelihood, or it may be the thing that gets you to other blessings, you know, and everything like that. So when you think about how malleable, the life that we can create as co-creators can become, you know, you kind of learn how to become more stronger spiritually, because you recognize that even though on a physical plane things don't change, but on a spiritual plane you can really create a future version of now that is so much more malleable. Okay, so you can really look at one thing and shift how you perceive it, shift the perspective, shift the things that you do now, and in return, you know, the time that things transpire as your life goes forward will shift into the things that you are a magnetic match to. All right, and that is one of the primary ways you can be stronger, spiritually, and it will build your strength, because you will know that things are not as they seem, you know. And just because something is on the physical plane, it doesn't mean that it has to be your reality, you know. Just remember, there's so many different ideas that came from what people think, and they all are here in the third dimension. They're all here in plain sight, you know. Like, if you look around, you look in your kitchen, there's a refrigerator that somebody thought of, you know. Maybe millions of people thought of that kind of refrigerator, but only one person pushed the idea forward, and they never gave up on themselves, you know, in order to make that a reality. There's someone that came up with an idea for a table. You know, there's many of people that have thought of ideas on how to create tables, but one person pushed through and made that idea for a table become a reality. And, you know, the list goes on. You know, there's all kinds of things. There's so many different objects in the world, all right? But what I'm trying to get you to focus on is not the physical world. I'm trying to get you to focus on the spiritual world, the thought world, okay? The world in your mind, and in your, I want to say in your third eye and in your crown chakra, okay? Because that's where all the magic happens, okay? Now, when you are strong spiritually in those areas, then it will show up strong in your physical areas, because, you know, of the work that you put in, you know, spiritually. And when I mean spiritually, what I'm saying is that you weren't swayed based on how things look. Things didn't look a certain way, you didn't give up. Things didn't turn out the way you needed it to be, you didn't give up. You know, you understand that it was really up to you as far as how you perceive life and how you co-create the life that you're creating. And you know, when I say spiritually strong, it doesn't mean you have to be like tough or anything like that. It what ends up happening usually is you become more happy. You know, it's not more of a like a brute strength thing. It's more like as you recognize that everything's going to be fine, the more times you recognize everything's going to be fine and everything is working for you instead of against you, you actually start being more at ease with how things work out, you know, and you don't feel the need to convince yourself more. You know, you don't have to really dive into like the affirmations as hard as in the beginning. You don't have to dive into the, you know, the meditative practices as hard as you used to, because, you know, your affirmations and your meditation is already a part of your life. So it's like you're already putting in that effort without even recognizing it. And so you're going through life and you have the confidence and you have the happiness because you know that regardless of how it looks, I know things are going to work out. And you know, that will build your spiritual strength. That'll make you stronger spiritually, and you will feel happy. Like you'll be celebrating the win before you even start, because you know it's gonna happen. You know, you just start thanking the universe in advance. You start thanking God in advance. Like, hey, thank you. It's gonna happen. It's working out, and it's because no one can come in and tell you, I don't know, you know how people could come in and say something and it'll, you know, shift your perspective, or a circumstance can happen and it can shift your perspective. You know, like we have definitely been doing the work as far as not being pushed and pulled, and we're really focusing this time around on what it is that we are viewing, what it is we are looking at. Observing, you know, hit that like button. And we are actually taking more time to sit with what we're viewing. And it's like a hunter, you know, like if you ever see like movies of hunters on, I don't know, National Geographic, whatever, they're not like this with the bow and arrow. They're not going wild. They're like this. They're like this, just looking straight. Anything that's moving on the outside, this is not. They know where to focus at. There's something going crazy over here. They notice it from the peripheral view. They don't have to look at it, because they know if they look at it, that's energy that they're putting in motion over there. And that energy that you put in motion over there, that might be energy that you may have taken away from yourself, and you may miss that opportunity. But because you're using your peripherals, you are able to get that opportunity, because you may, boom, you know what I mean, and you let it go, and now you blessing, you know. Oh, something's going on over here, boom, blessing, you know what I mean. And so it's all about, I did a video on self-preservation, all right? It's all about self-preserving yourself and not externalizing so much of your energy trying to do the right thing that you end up burning yourself out, because that is something that, you know, a lot of us, we do it and we're not conscious of it, but it's a real thing. And, you know, a lot of times when you're not as conscious as you think you should be about it, you don't feel bad, because you're like, oh, well, I'm tired, I'm burned out, but I'm doing the right thing. But doing the right thing, you shouldn't be burned out. You should be getting energy. It should be a reciprocity to it. You should be getting energy as you do that thing. The energy should be, it should either be coming to you, or it should be never leaving you. Either or. And so when you get to a space spiritually where you're able to observe and you're able to sit in that energy and you're able to just watch things, you can then look and see what is giving you energy, what is giving you prana, what is giving you life, what is breathing life into your life, who is speaking life into your life, what is bringing life-based situations into what it is you are already creating, you know. And that's what's gonna supercharge you and boost you to the top of where it is you want to go with what you are creating. And I learned that clarity is a very important aspect of spiritual growth and evolution. Being able to have clarity, being able to see things with clarity, you know, not who said what, who told you to feel a certain way, da da da. No, like we're silencing the noise, and we have the clarity, you know, just golden silence of just golden silence, you know. Actually, I gotta say this. I'm subscribed to a gentleman, and that was on Instagram, and that's in his bio. And I always love that those two words could be put together, you know, golden silence, you know. And that's what I think of clarity as, like a golden silence, like it doesn't need to be spoken on in order to be understood, you know. Like you see what it is, it's already communicating to you, you're already communicating to it without talking. There's no talking happening. You just, as soon as you see it, you know. And so another thing, and then I'm going to get up out of here. Spiritual growth and evolution, again, the confidence. Your confidence levels are going to grow, they're going to skyrocket, and it's going to show up in the form of happiness, smiling. You know, you're going to be confident. It's not going to be the kind of power, as I said earlier, where it's like brute strength and you have to show up like, you know. It's going to show up as confidence, is going to show up as happiness. All right. And a lot of times you're not going to be able to know why you're so happy, but you'll know why you're so happy, you know. Listen, I hope this video helped you in some way, shape, or form. I'm super happy to have you all here. I'm happy to be here. Listen, I love y'all unconditionally. I'm super happy to have shared time and space with you all. I can't wait to see you all in the very next video. All right. Peace, love, and blessings. Namaste.